Hey folks, I'm Sebastian and welcome to Atmoseeker, your place for creating an inspiring tabletop gaming experience for your Dungeons & Dragons, your wargaming, tabletop gaming, that kind of thing. So nice to have you here this evening in Australia. It is 10:30 p.m. at night and that's how we like to do it. Late at night after dark, we're going to be taking a look at some tabletop stuff. This is probably the first time you guys have seen some more of the kind of like room setup that I've been kind of working on. This is a whole new setup, hoping to kind of get some live actual play type stuff happening in this room. So it's still very much behind the scenes, getting a lot of the cogs and bells and whistles kind of working, because I want to have this as a fully immersive kind of tabletop experience for my players and for the audience as well. So that stuff is coming along. If that kind of stuff sounds interesting, if you want to come along on that kind of journey and see how all this kind of stuff is coming together, then I invite you to join on the Patreon or our channel memberships. And there's quite a lively little Discord, which I post kind of a lot of behind the scenes and that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, there's a link in the description. But first of all, I'd just like to say hello and welcome tonight. I see we already have some folks in the chat. Tantor Doe, bright and early in the morning. Welcome very much. And Ole, oh, awesome to have you here as well. Howdy, Seb. We're just in lunchtime in Norway. Well, merry lunchtime. It is, I have the tabletop set up here. Now, if you're not familiar with this, this is the Stagetop system from Gutshot Games. I'll pop the link in the description if you're interested. But basically, I'm going to show you how I kind of use this 3D printable modular setup for kind of like atmospheric type stuff. So how to kind of incorporate like lighting or like fog effects, or how I kind of like, how I've been kind of using it lately for a lot of these types of effect. Now, at the moment, I have the kind of castle keep borders installed in this, but I do have some extra tiles and stuff that I'll go through later, as well as an alternative border, which I quite like for kind of some other types of setups. Oh, making breakfast, Decado, welcome. Yeah, we're just going to have a look at this table setup. I was just talking a little bit about the room that we've got kind of set up here. These are kind of the kind of cameras that you can kind of expect to see. You can see I've got a big monitor over here. This TV right here, this was salvaged from the side of the road. It was basically a old plasma screen. It had, now you can see it's like missing like the frame and everything, because I've taken it off because the tinting glass on it was super like foggy and washed out and stuff. And it actually works pretty well as a monitor. So sometimes you just gotta, you know, sniff out some of the trash, get your raccoon mitts into it. And you know, now I got a big monitor here so I can see you guys as I'm kind of showing off some of this stuff now. All right, so we're gonna, now if you're not aware, it is like super hot in Melbourne at the moment. Where am I looking? In Melbourne at the moment, we have a heat wave. So it has been hot since Thursday night, Friday. So it is very hot in here. I don't have air conditioning or anything. It is, even despite being late at night, it's around, I think it's around 27 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I think it's cooling down a little bit tomorrow. And then we'll have a lot cooler weather, thank God, because it has been hard to film in here. Yes, we find on the screen. Now, okay, sorry, I'm just catching up in the chat here. Now we just need someone. Oh, we've got some very lively, friendly folks here. I think we've got some celebrity in here. Nat1 videos. Woohoo! I'm off to work today. Perfect backdrop sound to painting walls at home. Wow. Good to have you guys here. Yeah, I'm going to be having a look at this tabletop setup, and just a couple of announcements as well. Now, originally I had a video planned to drop this week that was going to show you how to kind of set up. If you can kind of see behind me, I've got like these monitors that have like these different video backgrounds, and I was going through how to create a dynamic setup that would change with the lighting, and the videos would change out. But unfortunately, the software that I was planning to use for that, through some more vigorous testing, has kind of, it shows that it's not good at handling lots of different types of videos. So unfortunately, the video I've been working on for a good 2 or 3 weeks, I'm probably going to have to scrap it. So originally I was going to have it come out this week. Unfortunately, just with more of that testing, it's just like, this is not good. It's not like performing well, and I could just see like how like people will struggle to get things working, because it's going to depend a lot on your like individual computer setups. And I want to make this stuff as simple and easy to kind of implement as well, like a couple of plugins here and there, and trying to make it as simple to integrate this stuff. So yeah, it really wasn't kind of like working out. It's a tough decision to kind of scrap that thing, because it was like 70%, 80% filmed, and yeah, unfortunately, I've had to kind of like stop that idea. If you're a patron, I'll probably still post it for you folks behind the scenes if you're kind of curious to see still what that setup is. But I'm not going to give up on that because I do need a solution for this kind of like setup. So I will still work on that in the background. It's just that thing is going to be delayed, unfortunately. So we'll have to kind of put a pin in that video. But we do have something more exciting kind of happening on the horizon with some a fast approaching terrain in the mail coming from Dungeons and Lasers for their Kickstarter. That's happening. I think it's starting tomorrow. Their Caves Kickstarter. I'll have to try and find the link. Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty fast slap together video, because unfortunately they had a whole bunch of delays with getting out these kind of creator sampler packs out. So that's going to come in pretty hot. So we're going to have to do something pretty quick to kind of show you a bunch of the terrain from them, and mostly like the old Seb twist of some Atmoseeker stuff, where I'm going to show you some of like the atmospherics involved and how you could use those in conjunction with a lot of the pieces. So yeah, I think that Kickstarter is coming out tomorrow or something. So I would have liked more time to kind of sit with the tiles and test them out and stuff. So, but to try and kind of help them out with their Kickstarter a bit, I'll have to try and get something a bit faster out. Well, we've got some folks chatting in here. So good to have you guys here. I think it's the last time I've done this like super early in the morning, and it was like crickets, but I can see we've got lots of fine folk chatting in there. Yeah, and we got some, all right, tell me about it. Oh, we got the law mistress, tell me about it. Melted the last few days and we're moving house. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is, yeah, my hair. I'm just looking all disheveled. You see me like dripping midstream. Yeah, it's like the reality of being under all these like lights and stuff and no air conditioning. It's going to catch up with me. That's why I'm wearing a black shirt here. This is secrets of secrets of the trade. All right, like yeah, let's get into it. Let's go and start taking a look. Now I've had these tiles for tiles. I'm gonna pull out some of like the original ones that I had set up. So like I had gone ahead and like printed a whole bunch of these because I wanted to make a Warhammer size board. I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's like a 4x7 foot table, I think. But yeah, basically, I think my audio is kind of peaking a bit. Otherwise, I just got to stop. Let me just turn down a little bit. I don't want to be shouting in your ears. A little bit. There we go. That's a little nicer. Yeah, so I've been printing out a whole bunch of these like grills and stuff. And the thing I really like about these is they've got all these like little holes and stuff, which makes them super handy for. I saw these and I saw opportunity. Really, like pipes, lights, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I've been kind of hoping to kind of implement with a lot of these. And so now I've kind of like printed, and you can kind of pre-make these kind of small areas depending on how many of these you print. Ole, will you have a reference link or something similar for download, Seb? Since I'm backing away. Yes, yeah, there'll be a link in the description if you want to check it out. Oh, and I'll probably pop a link for the Kickstarter to that. Dungeons and Lasers Kickstarter is happening soon. So, secret to streaming for longer, pass out from the heat. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to stay hydrated here. So just so Seb stays on his feet. You know what? I'm gonna get a little bit of fog going too, because I think that's probably gonna be for the best. Yeah. See the fog and the mist. That will help in settling some of this this heat, I reckon. Or it's like smoke. Yeah, everything's on fire. All right, that's enough joking around. All right, so we got these tiles, and that's the kind of what I was thinking for like whatever kind of lights and fog and stuff that I could coming up from. You can see it's also raised as well, so there's plenty of like hiding space underneath. Let me switch to this guy, just so you can see a little bit underneath. So yeah, it even looks like the Mines of Moria down there. So good little plus. But it's nice and high enough that you can have like your like snacks and stuff, or papers and stuff. I even seen some folks put like LEDs and stuff underneath it. So you've got like, if you're like me and you have typically just quite like dialed down, darker kind of lighting setups, can be good to hide some like tucked away lighting under there. I also like sometimes when I'm using this as a remote kind of thing, like a portable kind of setup, because you can kind of snap them all together. You can just transport them all in stacks like this and then set up where it is. So that is quite nice. But I do like underneath that you can hide all kinds of things like pipes, fog machines, even like a Bluetooth speaker. See. You can just pop that underneath there. And let's try a little bit here. I'm going to use the Pocket Bard app. Been testing out this new one recently. It's pretty good. I think it just needs a couple more like locations. Like let's see. I'm going to put it on just like dungeon, graveyard. It's just good, like generic dungeon location. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure if you guys can make that out. It's a good like spatial kind of sound effect. So even if you were kind of like in a like convention hall or something, just having like a localized sound effect, almost like if you had some of this terrain and pieces. Like, mate, you might be able to hear it a bit more if I put it on like, yeah, so you can have like water sound thing. It's almost kind of like creates this like audio bubble that kind of happens around here. So it's almost like you're peering into this kind of like location, which is quite nice and cinematic, which is quite good. So yeah, I like it because you can tuck stuff underneath, which is quite good. But other than that, I like to hide a whole bunch of like fog machines and lights and stuff. So before we get into the fog, because the fog is the fun stuff, I'm going to try and see if we can get some lighting. Now, you may have seen on the channel a while back that we had I had a video that for some underlighting with some of these nano leaf smart tiles. Let's see if I can show you over here. They're basically like these square LED tiles, and they have all these kind of like smart modes and stuff, and you program. They're pretty nice, like brightness and stuff. They're a little pricey, but compared to your like LED tiles from like Dwarven Forge and stuff, not too far off pricing wise, and you get a little bit more kind of smart animation features in them. Welcome RPR's channel. G'day. Just finished your lunch there. Yeah, so what I like here now is if I go to, let's switch this guy. Yeah, so you can see we've got all these nice little holes and stuff. So you can run like the cables for any kind of like lights and stuff, especially if they're these like smarter kind of like smart panels like this. I'm just gonna plug that in. And the panels themselves are a pretty good height. I've noticed. Now you can see some of the other tiles that I've got here. I haven't actually 3D printed them. Like the Stagetop system, they come with their own tiles as well. But I actually have found this like cheap hack of these like 8-inch wide kind of like cake boards that pretty much do the same thing, pretty much the same height, except for these LED panels. These are a little thicker, so I have to kind of double stack them. So you can get a nice, even surface on there. I'm just waiting for that panel to boot up. We've got RPR's channel. Speaking of Kickstarters, the Fall of House of Usher looks amazing. The mansion could easily be used in fantasy setting. I'll have to check that out. If you think of any kind of things I might be interested in, by all means, drop them in the comments, and I'll check those out. All right, so we've got So yeah, see, we can start dropping these panels in now. And they seem to line up pretty well. And you might, now because of these, because I've got the lighting pretty bright right now, it's probably going to be a bit hard to pick up on some of these. Yeah, but see, even with this kind of layout, I've got, they match up all right size-wise. I think you have to use a couple of half tiles to kind of like match it in. I'm just going to change it to green, just because I think that contrast will work better. We're going to have a slime cave. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to remote now. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see because it's kind of blowing out the sensor on this camera. Maybe I can dial that down a bit. Let's see. A little bit. A little bit. Okay. So yeah, now we've got some of the. So I quite like the holes because you can. I like the holes, he says. You can quote me that. Put that on a t-shirt. Because you can put like lighting panels like this. I even have maybe some of these smaller. You may have seen on the channel some of these like smaller, like what do you call them? They're like pocket LED panel thingies. Let's go with this guy. So I've got a couple of the aperture ones, but you can find cheaper ones. These ones are a bit pricey because I've used them for like video type stuff. But you can. Now they are a little bit thicker, so they're not going to line up as well. Actually, let's set this to an effects mode here. But you might have, depending on the ones you have, you could even put them underneath it. So even like I put this, actually I'm going to put the diffuser back on and set it to fire. So you could put it underneath, and then it's kind of like, especially if you had like some like translucent tiles there or something, you have some of the glow coming up from underneath. I don't have any translucent tiles. That is something I should work out, especially because you've got all these like holes and stuff. You probably could even prop that up a bit higher, get it close to these, so you don't have to have something that matches completely level with this kind of situation. Did you know that you could get extension cords for those boards, Seb? They're only a couple of inches long, but they add a lot of flexibility. Oh, that's good. I actually have seen some of those, and I wasn't sure if they were long enough. But that brings up a good point for maybe having some more variation in some of the sizes and stuff. Have I turned this off? There we go. Yeah. But yeah, that's one thing. I like to put lights underneath it. Let's tweak this setup a bit. I'm gonna go to like a lava thing here. There we go. So yeah, we can get some of this terrain on here. Let's get a few more tiles. You know what? Let's get some fog on here too, because usually with like underlighting and that kind of thing, it's always fun to have some fog happening. Believe it or not, these are some of the first terrain pieces I've ever made. these rock pieces, they have been kicking around for about 6 or 7 years, and man, you know what the secret is? The secret is I didn't know how many layers of Mod Podge to use, uncut, and I used I think I did about 3 coats of like just uncut Mod Podge on it. But paid out because these are freaking durable as all hell. Yeah. Oh, BioBash is here. Welcome. Good to have you here. We're in the hot garage at the moment. I'm just trying to like flush myself out with some smoke or something. But oh, you know, I do have a new fog machine that has come through as well. I am keen to kind of try it out just because of the nature of this being kind of like elevated. It's quite nice for like running all over the hose pipes and stuff that you might use from a fog machine. There is like the reptile fogger kind of like humidifier thing that can work quite well to kind of run pipes through. But I've got a new fogger that I've been wanting to try. So let's take a look. Oh, I've got here, so this guy came in the mail. Now I originally was going to get one of those Ulanzi ones for like photography and that kind of thing, but this guy was cheaper. It was cheaper on Amazon. It is a Lensgo Model S smoke machine. Now I have tested it out a little bit, but the one thing I probably missed the most from it is probably like a interval kind of like puffer mode kind of thing. At the moment it is pretty much just like on and off. So yeah, you just kind of turn it on. It comes with a remote too. And it's basically a more advanced like it's basically just like a more advanced vape pen. So it's a lot nicer like construction and everything, and it charges up and everything. It feels quite solid, and it's got the remote and everything, and it does come with a lot of attachments as well. So I'm still kind of like testing it out. I haven't really experimented with it a lot, but one of the things I do like, I did make some of these, kind of remixed some of these custom tiles. Whoop. Just gonna hide that. There you go. Oh. Wait. Oh man, it's so hot in here. But yeah, I remixed some of the 3D tiles from the Stagetop set. So I added a hole in them. So these ones are like the regular half tile that you have for the Stagetop system, but they've got like a hole in the bottom. And this hole is compatible with the steam pipes set that I created last year somewhere that I want to expand upon. But basically, I've put one of their attachments, which is this like rubbery hose guy. So I'm gonna just thread that through underneath. All right, so now we've got there, and I'm just gonna aim you down there. Actually, probably just switch back to this guy, and we're gonna just connect this guy to this. Oh, that's a good point. I should have put more fog fluid in here. It actually came with a decent amount of like fog fluid. I think it came with like 6 little bottles of the glycerin stuff. But basically, it's a little rechargeable fog machine. You can just tuck underneath there. I know there's a lot of variations of these kind of fog machines on for like photography and that kind of thing. The problem with these photography ones is they're not not designed for Dungeons and Dragons, really. Because what you want for like Dungeons and Dragons type fog is like, yeah, you've got D&D that goes for longer sessions, so you want kind of like a persistent smoke effect for longer periods of time. And these are quite good for like short bursts. So I'm thinking like maybe in conjunction with the Fogbox 3D printable thing that I had, with some kind of like chamber or something that'll fill up and kind of pace it out over longer periods of time. But for this setup, I've just got it kind of plumbed straight into there. And we've got a pipe coming out of the top. So, where's the remote for it? Got a little remote so you can be behind the DM screen. Whoa, right here. Whoa. Yeah. Be sitting, explaining things, and then turn it on for a little bit. It's got a little bit of a noise to it, but that's not bad. Like it comes out pretty heavy. And lingers for quite a bit. So it's actually not too bad. There are some things you can do to kind of like decelerate it a bit more. I found using, that's right, Victor's got it. It's like a vape saber. So it's probably one of the cheaper ones. It's like Lensgo Smoke S. And oh yeah, it's okay. It's very simple, on and off. And you can see it's already kind of like dissipated. So yeah, it really needs that kind of like chamber to kind of help chill things down. Actually, probably what might help, so I'll seal off these guys. Can I fit that? You know what? I'm gonna put that way. That. Ugh. That might help. It's just very light. These tiles are very light, so I gotta make sure it doesn't push it off too far. Alright. Well, I could stay there. Mr. Stubborn. Anyway. But one thing I've been looking at are these like stipple sponges. And they're quite good for decelerating things. So if you can't see it there, I think they're like for makeup application. But these they're almost like pretty, you can almost see through it there. And it's quite a, like, so it's going to let stuff through. But it really what's going to happen there is it's going to give us some more of that deceleration. Janka Chief, welcome! Hello from Queensland, good to have you here. Just playing around with some of these Stagetop tiles. Yeah, you can see already it's not coming straight out, it's just pouring out now. So even that, just like little modification, helps quite a bit. And that's one thing I do like about the Stagetop set. It comes with these like custom rails that you can print. These are like the castle keep rails, and the good thing about having a high edge on a tabletop like this, especially if you're decelerating a lot of the kind of like fog effects, it helps kind of keeping that effect in. But yeah, I quite like having that vent there, even kind of using some of the 3D printable ones. These are from the Steam Pipes set. Try that out. And it kind of comes out the top. Oh man, it's just like bellowing out though. That's kind of cool. Oh, that's probably actually working a lot better, but it's not chilling there. There are more attachments you could put on it to get like different like acceleration and stuff, but I think we're getting some interesting effects happening here. How is glycerin smoke breath? Oh, it's I mean, it's water-based kind of stuff. It's not toxic, so it's fine. The fog machine's nose. This one does have a little bit of sound to it. It's kind of like a when it's activated. So definitely not as quiet as something like the humidifier kind of thing. Like the reptile fogger. The reptile fogger is going to give it more of a persistent effect happening, which is quite nice. But the trade-off is that you're probably going to get more condensation happen on there a lot faster. There are things you can do to kind of like mitigate it, how you disperse it and stuff. There's a video on the channel if you want to check out some more talk about reptile fogger humidifier type fogs. But the trade-off is the humidifier, the glycerin one. That's probably going to leave less residue. It does hang around less though, so there are things you can do to kind of like drag it out. I think there is, I think using the fog box will be a good tool for that. Now, if you don't know what the fog box is, that is basically a 3D printable like chamber kind of thing where you can hook in a variety of different types of fog effects into it and kind of mix and match. Something I've been kind of working on in the background and kind of modifying, adding extra kind of little attachments and stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, there is also a video on the channel if you want to check that out. It is also in the Atmoseeker store if you want to check out those STLs as well. Yeah, oh man, it's super hot in here. I'm cooking in here. All these lights. What else do I like? The Stagetop. We have these tiles. We have the edges. We can put fog effects and stuff underneath, which is nice, which is real good. We can use the cake boards as kind of like a proxy, kind of like tiles, which is great. You know, I quite like these because they're kind of papery as well, which makes them really easy to replace it. But they've also got this kind of like more papery surface on the other side. So if you wanted, you could create like proper like tiles and stuff. If you wanted to flock it or something, that could be quite good. Actually, I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've got grass ones. I think I do. Should I track on? I think I'm going to track on the grass ones if I can find. I do. I've got big grass ones. You know what? Let's chuck those on the other one I'm going to create in a second. All right. Because I wanted to show a little bit how these kind of like piece together as well. Let's move that a little to the side. While I'm setting that up, let's just have a look at a couple of questions or comments in the chat. Everybody put your gas mask on and about to turn on the fog. No, definitely not. It's not toxic. I've run fog effects for years, and my players love it. But I will say that there are some like people who are asthmatic and that kind of thing, and that doesn't play well with them. So yeah, especially in public spaces, the glycerin smoke is probably going to be more of a problem because it might set off like smoke alarms, that kind of thing. So you might have to be mindful of that kind of thing. But the alternative is use more like humidifier smoke, that stuff, mist. Yes, the way it looks like a smoke effect, but that is potentially a lot better on people's lungs and stuff. Especially the humidifier kind of keeps a bit more kind of localized around the board, doesn't really fill up the space. If you had some filth under the fog machine, it will make less noise. Potentially. You know what? I've got like I'm not sure if it's the vibrating of the machine or if it's the mechanism moving back and forth. I've got some like little EVA foam squares and stuff. I might try that on it. Just place that underneath it. See if that kind of like helps. I feel like this is the box from what is it? From Dune, where he puts it in and he gets to the box of pain. Oh, the Kamjabat, the poison needle. Instant death. There we go. All right, I'm gonna try and pop the tile. A little bit of setting off the fire alarm. You know what? Like, true story. Like, I haven't set off the fire alarm in a place yet. I did overload, like, the power, the power breaker though, at a place. That was a learning experience. I had quite a few things plugged in. That was fun. Yeah, everything kind of like went black. And I'm like, oh, was that me? Was that my thing? I think it was. I need more power! Really? One of these places is gonna learn. All right. Okay, I've tried popping a little EVA foam thing underneath it. Let's see if that helps with the vibrations. Oh. All right. I can still kind of hear it. It must be like a mechanism vibrating inside it for like the pump. Something that still looks pretty cool. What's the brand of the vape sager? Lensgo. It was just like an Amazon brand. Maybe I'll pop a link in the description. I'll show you show you again what it looks like. Oh, look, I'm still kind of looking at this thing, so I mean, it's good for a cheaper one of these. I probably would have liked maybe like some more modes on the fog. Maybe like a puffer mode would have been nice, but like the battery life on it, I feel like that's what adds a lot of the weight to this thing, is the battery in there. And so that's the one. That's the one I've been using. Unsponsored by Lensgo. But yeah, it comes with a bunch of attachments, nice case and stuff. So yeah, I would have liked some more kind of like puffer mode kind of things. Maybe it does come with a few attachments for like, what do you call it? The dry ice effect and that kind of thing. Fish tank aquariums make a similar noise. It's often because of the vibration diaphragm. Yes, it's probably similar to that kind of sound, I would say. Yeah, but yeah, it's a decent amount of power. The only thing is you can't use it while it's charging. I haven't put it through its paces of how long the battery lasts. It probably says in the manual or something, but it would be cool to check out. If you're like, yeah, you know, if you're interested in checking that kind of thing out, sure. I've been using it for all of 3 days so far, so I haven't got my particular thoughts on it. But there is originally I was after like the Ulanzi version. That's kind of like your discount photography type gear, and that I think they have like a little smoke machine kind of thing. I think it has a few more modes. I'm not sure what the battery life is like on that thing, but it did have like a puffer kind of mode and stuff. But they're sold out, so I thought I want to try one of these. And I think this was like, I think it was like $50 cheaper or something, $100 cheaper. I don't know. Yeah, don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly how much. Yeah, I think school's still out on that one. I'm gonna test it out. All right, I'm gonna set up another board here. So we're gonna move the camera a bit. If you're wondering about the music that we're listening to right now, this is from Talespire. It's one of those virtual tabletop kind of thing. Now on this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a variation on the setup for this. I'm going to use some clear rails on the side. So I'm going to have to work out how long I'm going to make it. See, I cut these for a different size board. Okay, maybe I'll just make like a long one. We got like a 2x2, 2x4. Anyway, but they snap together pretty well. Now the printer I was originally printing on these wasn't too accurate, but some of the newer tiles I've been printing have been going together quite nicely. Zoom in a bit there. There we go. And yeah, I've got a whole bunch of pieces, a whole bunch of nugget thingies. Let's see. So you've got like the tiles, and then you put on these little guys. So they're pretty easy to transport. Just have a whole stack of them, especially if you're having like a small, you know what, let's make like a meter squared kind of like area. I think that could be quite good. I'm gonna need more squares. Personally, I go with black for a lot of this stuff, just because it's easier to hide any kind of, it's almost like a good staging area type deal. But they go together pretty smoothly. And snugly too. And now, yeah, the biggest kind of board setup I've set up with this is probably about, I think it was a Warhammer size. I think I said at the start, like 4 by 7 feet. So you can get quite big with them. You just need, you just need a table big enough to be able to kind of support that. Let's snap that together. It's all these like modular pieces. How big can I go? I was going to go about, this is probably more like 50, half a meter by meter. I'm going to go that big. 3 by 3, I reckon. I need one more panel. Alright. That. Now for printing a huge, like, Warhammer sized table, that was a lot of printing. that took a while. Man, I can't even remember how many spools of black filament I've gone through. But I mean, typically you don't need to print that much if you're just having, especially if you're having like more like a portable style setup. And you just want like a little stage area. I quite like the kind of thinking behind a stage area, because it's almost like it's almost like you've got like this, I mean, stage for all the like the action, all the where you want to put like the terrain, all the miniatures. Even if you don't run any combat, it's nice to have like an area where you can kind of frame things. Now, I think typically I'm gonna put, I'm trying to work out what kind of legs I want to put in this thing. We're gonna get it as tall as the other ones. Or I'm gonna use the simple rails as well. Okay. Whoa, sorry mate, I'm gonna have to put this here. There we go. I'm just trying to think, do I set up the rails first, or do I set, I'm gonna use the simple ones here. Okay, these ones use like the least filament, which are there like simple rails. Shall I switch to this one? Yeah, all right. Now, if you're curious about like the camera setup that I've got here, this is kind of what I'm going to be using for some like live play stuff. Usually where you'd see the TV over there, that will have some players. And so this is going to be more of an over the shoulder. Usually you'd be sitting like here, I guess. So I still got to like mess around with like the camera positioning here. I'm gonna work on some like presets. This is actually gonna be an upcoming video on the channel, which shows a little bit more behind the scenes, how this stuff is all kind of put together, in terms of like the studio setup. This is all me running it solo in here with all different types of camera angles and lights and stuff. But where? I almost got this guy popped together, I think. There are shorter legs as well. Like I've got some of these shorter ones. So if you don't want to have something as tall, maybe I should have set that up. I did want to run fog up from underneath, so I'll leave it tall for now. Ugh. I definitely have a good amount of pieces here. It all goes together pretty nicely. I know they've got a new Kickstarter, I think, coming up, where it's a whole bunch of different themes and stuff. I saw they've got like trains and other types of themed stuff. So yeah, there we go. We got table set up. So this all packed away. Like this probably could like fit in a backpack for what I've got here. So this is how big is that? It's like 50 centimeters. 2 feet. And we can get a ruler out. I don't know where a ruler is. I got a ruler. Metal one. How close was I? I said 2 feet. It is 2 feet. Yeah, 2 feet. About 60 centimeters. So, but it is a good amount of space for a portable setup, I reckon. Yeah. All right, I do want to put some rails on this. So this is a variation of the rails, which are these like, I think they're kind of like light rails. So it's basically not a rail, but it's basically to kind of clean up a lot of the edges here. So they kind of pop in like that. And you use like some of these like little fasteners that it comes with. I'm just gonna do one, but yeah, basically pops on like that. I'm just gonna go around and pop it all together. That's cool. It's almost like a action cam. You're moving with me. There we go, that one. Oh, that one's snapped off in there. Whoa. Come on, you little bastard. This one's a little snug. What's that about? Good enough. Alright. That guy goes there. I'm wondering if this would have been easier to piece together before I put the legs on. It's probably because I'm a little crammed into here. Got two tabletop setups here on this tabletop. I quite like the castle rails. They're quite good. They've got all types of different themed stuff too. Like this one's got a like what is this? The dice tower, which is cool. Dice, we can roll in this. I'm gonna go with this one. Let's roll it. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna roll the dice. Come on, nat 20. And this one basically fits into these holes somehow. I think you can get left like special tiles in it. I'm gonna roll the cheese dice. What did we get? We got a 9. That's that's not good. That reminds me of that Critical Role campaign. The 9. All right, we're almost set up with this, I think. Move that there. All right. I feel like we need some more smoke going on in here because I'm drying out here. Juice me up, smoke. Here we go. Oh, too much juice. Yeah, 9 is the rested piece. There we go. This nice little plain area. Actually, that's a lot easier. One, another one. Oh man, too much smoke. I do love it though. I have had some friends go like, oh, it reminds me of the theater. Like, this is in my clothes these days. The smell. Oh, where's my corner? There it is. Alright, so this is using the light rails. Light rails. So these print pretty efficiently. I don't think they use a lot of filament on these ones. I think I've printed a lot of these on my, what do you call it? Oh, my brain keeps spacing on that printer. It's the one everyone has. It's the something Neo. Oh, why am I spacing on that printer? It's no longer with me. It's with Rudy at the moment. He's been using it to print some of his railway stuff. Shout out to Rudy. All right, there we go. That. Oh, we're almost there. Got almost the whole thing. How long have I been going for? This is like 10 minutes so far? 15? I just gotta find the pieces first. I've got all of these pieces in here. Looking for a corner. Need a corner piece here. Not in there. Oh, something in the Tabletop piece there. Oh, I didn't know I had a spare one of these. I've got two. Shit, I didn't know I had some of these. Alright. I cannot find another corner. That's gonna bug me. I definitely have 4 corners. Well, we'll make do without the corner right now, I think. Don't know where I put it. It's probably down there somewhere.
Where are you, corner? I can smell you. I know you're down here somewhere.
Oh, found it. It's on a. What? We've got one of these. Oh, I think that's why this one's stuck in here. So yeah, this one's jammed in. I don't remember what happened here. Oh, one of the things broke. One of those little, these guys, little notchy dudes. I don't even know how you get this out. Sheer force. That's how you do it. You're gonna get a screwdriver. I want this corner. I don't know if I'll be able to get that out. Might have to live without one corner. Tile ASMR. Just trying to pop it. Oh, it's coming. I think. Come on, matey. Oh man, it's so hot in here. Any kind of like slight like effort, just start sweating. That's not going to come out, is it? It's stuck forever. I have to print off a new corner. Or I should have put this corner in that corner and just let it be. That's fine. I'll live without it. Bastard. Oh, really pisses me off. Anyway, that's my fault. I don't know how I jammed it in there so hard. My caveman brain. But, oh man, really blitz in here from this fog. But we got most of it set up. That affected my time though, not having all the corners. Ugh, that's really gonna bother me. All right, so really, so these are custom, I'm gonna say custom. So these are just pieces from an IKEA frame, one of those cheap IKEA kind of like poster frames. And I've sliced them into 5 centimeter tall edges. And the idea with that is if you, hang on, let me get some of those grass tiles. The idea with that is if you put it there, then it's kind of like having the rails on this guy, but it's invisible. And that's gonna help keep that fog in there. See, that looks pretty nice. And I probably could cut these a bit better to keep some stuff in there, but, oh, you know what? I can use my big brain. Slide some of the stuff like that. There we go. Then we have, so these are two, same size, and then put it like that. Okay. I feel like I had more. Didn't I have more of these? Or did I just have 4? Nope, there's a couple more. There's one more. I can have three sides. That's not bad. Yeah, I definitely have to cut more of those. They're quite handy. Anywho, now that we've got some of that terrain, let's make it all grassy. So some of these grassy tiles I made for the Galewind video that came out in December. So that was a atmospheric guide for another Kickstarter. Oh man, I'm just like a slut for Kickstarters these days. I don't know. I used to not like Kickstarters because it was a thing that you kind of bid into and then you have to wait for stuff to come out. But it seems like the turnaround on that kind of thing is a lot faster these days. I keep getting asked if I would ever make it a Kickstarter for things like that. It seems like a lot of work. Like I feel like there's a whole companies devoted to doing Kickstarters. Oh, am I out of grass tiles? That's a bummer. This is quite snug with the, oh wait, I can move that a bit more that way. There we go, that's nicer. That'd nice. Oh, that's perfect now. Perfect. Perfect grass. If I couldn't know it. I could put a hamster in there. Oh, but I don't have any more small grass ones. So, boo. That tile's gonna have to be black for that one. But I could use my fog tile. Let's see. Let's do that. I'm gonna get some humidifier smoke going in here. Let's see if I can get it going. Oh, it's all wired down there. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Man, I've got so many power boards plugged into power boards down there. I'm scared. I don't want to touch anything. Can I lever this up a bit? Maybe. It's all tucked in underneath, so I might have to leave that one. I was going to try putting some humidifier smoke. Oh, well, let's get that other smoker going again for the Fog Machine S, whatever it was. Let's chuck some hills on there or something. Let's make it look nice. Maybe I can hide that big opening a bit better. But yeah, normally I'd have all of these squares, all of these edges around the whole thing. Although maybe I can chuck in a terrain hill there. That'll help fill that corner. So it's going to give me an edge there. All right, let's try that. Let's see what we've got here. That'll work. No, we have to spin this around. What's going to do here? Throw some stuff on it. We'll get some more kind of like hills and stuff. Should use my regular trees on here. This is pretty rough, but I'm gonna see if we can get some kind of setup going. I'm just trying to see if I've got my trees. I do have trees. Yeah, all right, screw it. We're gonna go for classic foresty looking area, I think. I have to reorientate some of these lights over here. There we go. Lovely. Maybe I'll try and block off this area because I don't have an edge there. Maybe that's where we'll bring the like fog in from. Now let's get a few like this. A couple of big ones. So see, this is getting pretty. And the classic Atmoseeker trees, my toilet roll trees. They've served me well. I've had them going for like years and years, these trees. All right. Yeah, we got a lot of forest going on here. We don't want to fill it up too much though. Just want to make it playable. Yeah. All right. So now we can throw some guys in here. You can kind of get an idea of the scale. Maybe let's put in a couple of these monstery guys. What are these? What are the ant kegs, I think. Yeah. Have these guys coming out of the ground. Here we go. All right. I'll chuck you on a barrel. See, that looks pretty sweet. This is just like a little stage. You can pop on a table. That didn't take too long to set up, I don't think. And I guess the area is pretty modular, so you can make every different types of sizes of boards pretty well. You know what? I'm gonna just chuck in a little bit of backlight there, I think. What we're gonna go for? Cop car. Let's see. Hue, saturation, that guy. Like this, I think. No, we wanted to simulate like a sun. A yellow, gold. Something, I don't know. There we go, because we're just gonna have, this is just for this, it's just so you guys can see what it looks like. A little bit of lighting there. Normally I'd have this up on like a tripod. Actually, that's pretty good. I'm gonna get one of those little baby tripods, because it's almost like creating it like to look like almost like a sound stage kind of thing. I'm gonna get a couple of these stands. So I guess if you're gonna have this as more of a like portable setup. Let's see, I've got one of these. Almost like a, what do you call it? It's these selfie stand things. Been using them a lot recently. John, welcome, buddy. We're having some fun with some terrain setups here. Yeah, so you pop that there. That's pretty, not so much in your face and stuff. I like to counter it with another light. What have we got here? Lightning. Like blue? Blue could be fun. If I can screw it in, that'd be cool. All right. Oh, maybe I should go green. If we're going for like golden foresty kind of feel, and then we'll try putting some of that portable fog in there. It's not too bad. All right. So yeah, at the moment, what do we got? We've got kind of a setup where we've got a couple of lights. Then we got the stage top kind of area there, almost like a staging area where we can have lighting and stuff from underneath. You can hide different type like fog effect and stuff. This one's using the clear rails, which were cut from some IKEA picture frames. So now we're gonna try getting a little bit of smoke in there. See how it looks. All right, I'm gonna get. Maybe we should just chuck the dry ice mod on this thing. See how it looks. John, we're kind of half looking at like a new fog machine that came in the mail. This one is from Amazon. So it is kind of like a cheaper version of the Ulanzi one. I wanted to get the Ulanzi one, but they're constantly sold out. So this is I really wanted to try one of these smaller kind of photography fog machines. They're basically like, it's like an expensive, I say cheap, like it's cheap for like photography gear. I think this was, what do I say, 120 or something Australian dollars, 150. But it's heavy because it's got like a big battery in there and stuff. So I gotta check out how long it runs for. But it's got a remote and everything. It's got a whole bunch of attachments. Yeah, I only wish it had some more kind of like different modes. But yeah, it's got a little remote and thing, and it's not too loud. Let's just chuck on a couple of attachments here and see how it looks. Okay, so that camera's struggling a bit right now. I notice if I'm pushing the stream pretty hard, it might be also the heat here, because if you hadn't heard earlier in the stream, we have a little bit of a heat wave happening in Australia, in Melbourne. It is melting everyone. We've since Thursday, Friday, I think, and yeah, it's been havoc to kind of film. There we go. I think that'll do it. Yeah. All right. Wow, that camera is not playing nice right now. Right, let's see. All right. So we've got the dry ice effect on there. I'm not going to use a remote right now. I'm going to try just dripping it in there. See how it looks. I'm going to see if the edge helps hold it in there. Move this route around. We don't have an edge over there, so it's going to pour out there. All right. We got like a mysterious forest. Oh, these ankegs bursting out of the ground. Get that exposure down a bit. Here we go. Up. I see, that looks pretty good. Looks atmospheric. I think that edging is holding some of that fog in there. be curious to see how long it holds for. But it's a good little staging area. I'll have to probably check out a little bit more with this fog machine, see how it kind of holds up. I kind of want to incorporate it into this new setup I've been working on with a like miniature fog box kind of thing. The Fogbox Junior, because that thing's kind of hit a couple of snags on how it's designed. Basically, the snag in the design at the moment is the chamber's a bit small, so there's not a lot of room for deceleration. But I have noticed that some of these, like these, these stipple sponges do a really good job of decelerating things. So I might try and incorporate some of the know-how from that kind of design. How long could the tube be and still have enough time? Well, there is a tube that came with it. Let's see, it's over here. So this one is, what's that? Like 40 centimeters or something? 1.5 feet. I do have my trusty ruler over here. This one is, it's closer to 50, 1/2 meter. It probably could go a bit longer as well. The longer the pipe is, the more deceleration you're going to have come through it. So even you can see like we've got no attachment on the end there. You know, this is holding up pretty well. I'm just noticing, like we still have some like low fog here. It's been probably about what, like 5 minutes. A lot of it's kind of dissipated. So yeah, we really need to kind of like work it in with like a chiller or something. So if I fit this in with like the Fogbox Junior that I'm working with, maybe I could make some of this situation. But I do like that you can kind of, especially with the Stagetop area that we got here for like the raised situation here. Pop it all underneath. Probably like hide this in like a bush or something, or part of the terrain. I'm just gonna throw it in there right now. Let's see. All right, so now I'm gonna use like the remote and see if that helps. Sorry, I feel like this camera's dying on me a little bit at the moment. Let's see if I can pop it a little bit. Just bear with me for a second. There we go. Hopefully that's a little better. It's just because my computer's running a little hot in this hot weather right now. I have to drop the FPS of it. But yeah, okay, so that's in there right now. It's got that hose system there. It's dripping in. It's just got that low kind of like rumble, almost like a aquarium pump was mentioned. Not too bad. I guess if you had like more music and stuff happening around you, it's not too bad. I just want it to last longer. And I think that's the problem, because it's the photography thing is more made for like shorter, it's like you put the effect on, you take the photo, that kind of thing. So I think I'm gonna have to try and incorporate it with some of the other 3D fixins I've been working on. But yeah, I'm always experimenting with fog machines, so it's always cool to kind of get some new ones and try them out. So this one like seems to work pretty all right. Except yeah, it's just I need to get some more chilling going on there. And see already, it might be also because it's quite warm in here as well. If it was a bit more cooler, it probably wouldn't boil off as much. but that's all right. All right. So, conclusions. What do we think of the Stagetop tabletop system from Gutshot Games? I like it. It is a fair bit of stuff to print, but I do like the variety of different kind of like castle walls and stuff that you can kind of put together, which is nice. So there's a lot of customization options. I like the utility of all the like different like tiles and stuff, and that you can remix your own stuff if you want to have like holes for the fog kind of coming through like the bottom. But any any kind of negatives from this? I mean, it's kind of whatever you want to think of like ideas of how to use it. I do like how it kind of is very portable as well. Like I've thrown a few of these like tiles into like a backpack and was able to kind of set up a small kind of like stage area like that pretty well. Especially with like the little cake boards tiles. So there are alternatives for like 3D printing some of the stuff. So if you want to save on filament, you can get little cake board tiles like these, which are quite good. Yeah, I like it. I like it because you can hide a lot of pipes and stuff, and that's kind of a lot of the things that I kind of do around here, especially because you can incorporate a lot of the lighting and that kind of thing into a lot of the setup, especially around. It's even with like the additional like sound, kind of like USB speakers that you can put underneath the tiles, and even just to like raise it up. You can even see here as a dungeon master from behind the screen, having like terrain and stuff really down low makes it a bit of a pain in the butt, but like having it a bit higher makes it a little easier to kind of reach and have more of a vantage point and stuff. So yeah, I like it. I'm probably going to keep using it, especially because I don't have a dedicated like I don't have an expensive gaming table. So this has been a nice thing that I can kind of 3D print and put together, especially you can take it to other people's places. It's a bit more portable that way. So yeah, I've been enjoying using it. But yeah, thanks everyone who has stopped by the stream. It's been so nice having you here, having a look at this stuff. If you want to kind of explore any of the stuff that was mentioned in the stream, I'll be sure to kind of like work out what I need to add in the description. So check back later or leave a comment if you mention something in the comments in the chat, and I'll check it out as well. So thanks everyone who has stopped by. It's been super great having you here. Yeah, I guess yeah, I want to. This is it. It's super hot in here. I've got work tomorrow, and I'm cooked. Until next time, guys. Let's create and inspire. Catch you then.